So.
Adam Levine is in the studio with us on 95.5 PLJ.
Adam, when I mentioned to my girlfriends you were going to be here, they all mentioned yoga. They want me to ask if you, I hope I say this right, self-practice or if you have your own personal instructor.
I do have an instructor. I've had an instructor for about 6 years.
Okay.
Form is kind of a big deal. So it's almost kind of like if you do it without the form, you can hurt yourself and it doesn't have the benefits that you want it to. And I'm obsessed with a lot of different types of fitness just because I'm a maniac. My father's like that too. He's just always wants to be sweating and things like that. So I think I got that from him. But yoga is one of the greatest things in the world for you. It really is. Keeps you young.
That's for sure.
Congratulations on the GQ. That was a nice little article they did about you, right?
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
I will say they probably broke the record for number of D-bag mentions in one
Yeah,
article.
and that was, honest to God, like,
what was that all about?
It was kind of enough with that word.
Yeah. I mean, it was the lead, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a funny little lead, and then all of a sudden, it's like the first 8 paragraphs are about that.
You know the problem with that is that even if you're saying someone isn't something, if you say the thing enough times,
Right.
it immediately associates them with that term.
Yep.
Right.
So I just think that it was like a little over the line. With,
Like, how long did you
on
talk to the
cover,
guy?
Having it be there, I was like, really, guys?
You probably spent a couple days with the guy, right?
It was a girl, actually.
It was a girl?
Yeah, it was just it wasn't a bad article. It was it was a good article.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the association, there's certain things you can say, and if you associate them with a person, eventually you'll glue the two together, regardless of whether you actually believe it or not. So
Well, it's funny, and then James, they went to him, and he said, he's not a D-bag.
yeah,
He's
well,
not.
because
It's like, oh,
and by
good,
the way,
thank you for confirming
and
that.
by the way, it's like I'm not. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, so that's what's so funny about about people thinking that. I guess it's everyone's got their opinions. Opinions are like. Everyone's got one.
That's right. And you know, it's weird, too. You're right. When somebody says something enough, you're like, it doesn't even matter why they're saying it. But, I mean, we've known you for many, many years. We had you guys here when the first album came out. And I think your only fault is you're almost too honest and too nice.
I don't know. I talk a lot, and I think that one of the reasons why is because you only get one chance to be out there, and I'm going to speak my mind. I have opinions, and I don't mind having them, and not everyone's going to like them, by the way. So, but you have to accept that. And a lot of people kind of also get mad when people hate on them for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But that's natural. It's normal. People are gonna do that, especially when they don't have to confront you. That's what I call that internet courage.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
It's not real courage. It's just like, I know the internet separates people from each other. It brings them together, but it also separates them. So when someone makes a nasty comment about somebody, which I, would never take seriously, they're making a nasty comment that if they were to be in person, in front of the person, they would probably totally be super excited to see
Right.
them.
Right.
Never say
And be like,
those
oh my
things.
God, hi, like, can I have a thing? Like, the same person that's going to ask you for your autograph is going to say awful things about you on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And sometimes if
Which
you
is
were-
so screwed up.
Yeah.
It's like,
can I have your autograph? by the
you're a
way?
jerk. Yeah, how lame is that? Yeah.
Now, you want to talk TV show or movie first? Because I have several questions on
You
both. But
decide.
you choose. You're the guest, Sexiest Man Alive. That's your moniker.
Is that title even worth it at this point?
What'll it be, SMA?
So, man, well, I'll take television for 1,000.
All right, let's talk about it. When they first came to you and said reality show, singing competition, you said...
I said, no way.
Yeah.
No way. I was in Mark Burnett, who's a very wonderful man and very convincing. I was like, okay, let's just take the meeting. He wants to pay me a bunch of money,
Yep.
so we'll see. We'll see whether or not this is worth it, or whether or not I even am into it, because this sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, so that's my that I walked in there not knowing, and so he basically told us about the show, and I said, well, I don't want to make anyone feel bad. I'm not sure about this. This sounds weird. They hadn't actually even gotten everybody for the show yet. I'm not sure who they had confirmed. And I just like, this sounds dodgy. I just and
Chairs and everything.
Dodgy, I don't know, moving
chairs
Yeah,
and
right.
this thing.
Weird.
What is this crap? And then I left, and actually, not many people know this, but in Holland, it was a huge show. So in Holland, basically, this show had taken down, the other singing competitions. You know what they are, but
Yep.
I won't say them. So in this kind of small, they did this like small litmus test of like what was happening with this show in Holland, and it's the same exact show, same chairs. It's called The Voice. I mean, it's the same exact thing, except with like Dutch
people.
pop
Yeah.
stars. And it was, I watched it and it's amazing because I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, let's watch this stupid crap, you know? Whatever, I'm not going to do this. Like, now that's my attitude.
Yeah, you're a rock star.
I'm like, and so I'm watching it and I was kind of just like, yeah, fine, okay. Then 10 minutes go in and I'm like, it's kind of cool. And like 20 minutes go by and I'm like starting to get really into it. I'm like, oh, don't turn around. Why are you not turning around? And then because I became a fan of the show within 20 minutes, and I don't like television, and I don't watch TV. I really don't. I can't stand it actually. I had to do it. I'm like, I have to give it a shot. And it was just kind of magical. The second, and I still was worried. My biggest concern was I wasn't going to hear anybody that I liked. It's like, it's so hard. Good singers are so hard to find.
Right.
You know? And when I heard Javier, I'll never, because no one really knew what we, also, by the way, we had no idea what we were doing. Like, we were sitting in these giant red thrones, and this was before they became a thing.
Yeah.
That everyone
Sure.
knows. So we're like, what is going on? And this is so stupid. And I remember me and Christina and CeeLo and
The parrot.
who's the guy? Blake?
Yeah.
We're all sitting there and thinking, what is this? And then, 10 singers go by and they're all awful. And so we're like, oh, here we go. I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then Javier Colon starts to sing. And it was like spine tingling. You're just, everyone just pushed their button. And we all pushed it together, really. It was just bam, bam, bam. And that's when the fire ignited. And I really credit that moment to the show working. Because
Wow.
obviously if we don't have chemistry that flows and works and we're not into it and having a good time, the show would have been a miserable failure. If we had just been stupid, and you were a good singer, whatever.
Yay.
So he helped start the fire, I think, and then obviously from then on it became this thing.
I don't know if you noticed the little things in life, but all of our chairs are blue. Yours is red, and it spins. And I know you've been fighting the urge.
Is that intentional?
Yeah. He turned around. He turned around. Very nice.
So dizzy.
And Adam, that show was sort of like a perfect storm for you because at the time, Maroon 5 was a big band, right? And then all of a sudden the show hits and then moves like Jagger, and then it's like, boom! It's like, was that just all timing, or what was that all about?
God, it's so crazy. I'm so lucky. I mean, it was so. Our band was kind of.
Yeah, you were big.
We were big.
Yeah.
And we weren't like going away, and we weren't.
No.
We weren't failing.
Right.
We were succeeding, but. And this is me just being like ultra competitive with myself, really.
Yeah.
We were, if we were here, the band was like here. We were definitely, there was a dip in some of the success that I wanted to have with the music. And it was, like I said, we were huge. I mean, we were doing great.
Yeah. Great.
We needed something to shake it up. And I think that if you're going to stick around, if you're a band, especially these days, and you're trying to stick around for a long time, if that's the goal that you have in mind, which our band wants to be around. We don't want to retreat it back, into nowhere land. And that's I think that's actually a refreshing way to look at it because a lot of bands will never admit that.
So was it like
lot
a
of bands
spark
just be
kind of
like,
thing?
"Oh, yeah, I don't care."
Was it like a spark? Because
Yeah, of course it was.
Like,
that was
would Payphone have come if not for The Voice? Do you think?
It was a lot of different things. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was my willingness to collaborate with other
okay.
people. Like I would never let anyone go near our music. Ever. And everything had to be us, and I had to write all this and the melodies and the thing. And I just thought to myself, why not give this a shot? And the first time I gave it a shot, it's crazy actually because it made me realize that I could use some help, and you have to have that attitude. It's not about your ego. If you want your band to keep working and keep making great music, sometimes you're going to have to go different directions, and sometimes you're going to have to work with other people. And I mean, you don't have to do anything, but I mean, if you really, really want to explore all your options to evolve, basically,
Yep.
you got to try new things. That's a huge part of it. So I wrote, I got into the studio with Benny Blanco and did Stereo Hearts, which was huge, and then Moves Like Jagger, which was huge. And so I'm like, okay, this is
good. This is a good idea.
This is really
I
working.
like this.
Yeah,
You
huge
know,
is
and
good.
I'm not going to stop doing this,
Yeah.
So we had a different mentality now going into songwriting, and then that mentality about songwriting combined with the success of the show and an overall general kind of positive, different, or embracing change and positive attitude led to a lot of this, honestly.
And it makes you better.
Big
It
songs
really
and stuff.
does. When you open yourself like that, it'll make you better.
Well, there was just so much ego on my end of it, honestly. I can freely admit that. I wouldn't let anyone into the door,
Wow.
And now that I can, and I feel confident in doing that, and I think that my own tweaks that I made personally and professionally helped me succeed.
So thanks to the Dutch, This is what it's really the Dutch's fault that now you're a huge
It
star.
is the Dutch. I mean, if that footage wasn't spectacular footage from that show, I probably would never have done the
We'd
voice.
be like, who's Adam Levine?
Well, and also Mark Burnett's real persuasive.
And you know what? All this would have happened to Mark McGrath.
It's true. Sorry, McGrath.
And you would have been in Sharknado too.
I love Mark McGrath, man.
We love him. He's a great friend of
We
ours.
tour with Mark.
I know. We just had him on. We were talking about it, and
He is like the funniest.
he's the coolest cat.
yeah.
Like
Aw.
coolest dude. I'll never forget this because when we toured with Matchbox 20 and Sugar Ray, this was like 2002 maybe. We were the first band because we were by far the least. No one knew who we were, and they were so sweet. Everybody, especially Mark, and he'd always come backstage and hang out with us, and he'd be like, "You guys are gonna be so huge, man. You're gonna be so huge."
Yeah.
And you know how he talks. He's,
Yep.
You guys are gonna be so huge, bro. Dude. Oh my God, don't screw this up. He's like, don't screw this up. And he would always tell me, he's like, man, like, he might even be one of the reasons why I'm getting married. Because then he'd be like, you find the right one, bro. Don't screw it up. Don't be an
Really?
Like-
It's Mark McGrath?
like, but he was like one of these things where he's like, I've seen it all, man. I've done it all. I've been through it all. He's like, let me tell you some and like sit down with you and like he was like it was like the angel and the devil on my shoulder. He was
No, he's.
So he'd still be a single guy if not for Mark
telling
McGrath.
Mark
I mean, I can't give him that much credit. It's been a long time since we hung out.
All right.
It's nice and creepy.
Now let's move to the movie. Was acting always a thing for you too, or did you just say, you know what? I guess this is next. Let me try this.
No, acting was just a total out of nowhere. I mean, listen, well, I've been talking about acting a lot because we did this junket yesterday, so it's
Right.
on my mind. And I think I came into the press junket yesterday just saying to myself and saying to everybody, I didn't know what I was doing, and it was my first time, and I literally was such a layman, I had no idea, which was true. I literally didn't know what I was doing, and I totally was winging it the whole time. But then I kind of started thinking halfway through, but I did do it, and that officially, I guess,
That counts.
kind of makes me an actor.
Yeah.
Did
So-
you take lessons?
No.
No, get
I
out
took
of here.
one.
All
I took
right.
one, but it wasn't long and it wasn't particularly helpful.
What was it, like an online course or something?
No, yeah.
Right
pretty
now,
much.
the acting coach is going, Jesus, what a.
I didn't like it. You know what? You know what? No, you know what though? It's true. He probably is saying that, but here's why that's not true. It's because he would tell me like, and he doesn't. No one knows who he is. So
Okay.
I'm
Right, it
keeping
doesn't
his identity. out
Screw
of it.
him. It doesn't matter.
But no, he would told me why I didn't like it is because he told me how to say things. Like, and I was like, shouldn't I be deciding how to say them? That doesn't. I don't want to say how you would say it because then you'd be acting.
Right.
I need to learn how to act.
They hired me, not you.
No, like teach me how to act. Don't
Right.
teach me how to say words.
Right.
And then so I was kind of like, maybe.
So
that
you
was-
fired
Maybe
him?
that was. I didn't fire him.
All
I
right.
just didn't
You
have
didn't
more
go
than
back.
one class with them.
Don't try to stir up a
I'm
controversy.
sorry.
I know. All right, they're giving us the rap sign, which I always hate, but we really appreciate your time. Maroon 5's new album 5 drops in stores September the 2nd. New single Maps available now. His movie Begin Again now playing at a theater near you, and he's back for another season of The Voice September 22nd on NBC. He's getting married. Holy crap!
To
It's
a woman.
the summer of Adam. Thanks so much, Adam Levine, everybody.
Thanks, guys.